welcome back to Crypto Saving Expert, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. We are in a little bit of a different setup today, so it may seem a bit strange. Hopefully the sound is okay and everybody can hear me clearly. We are, again, as usual, going to run through the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at what is happening in the markets and see what is happening. So let's first of all take a look at Crypto Saving Expert and see what's happening with the market. So Bitcoin is currently down 1.27% within the last 24 hours, and Ethereum is down 1.47. So that is what we've seen so far on the top assets. We have seen a slight move to the downside in the last 7 days. So let's take a look at the charts. Now we need to pull up the Bitcoin chart. I have just drawn this on, but it's all refreshed in the time it took me to set up this stream. Let's see what's going on here. So on the 4-hour chart, I have just found some levels of support and resistance. So if we take a look at the 4-hour chart, you can see clearly if we connect these levels of support, so we have level of support right across here. We also have that level of resistance that we're looking at on the $25,250 level as well. We've been looking at this for quite a long period of time now, because if that $25,250 level breaks, we could see a nice big move to the upside, because there isn't that much price action, historic price action between the $25,250 level and the $28,800 level. So that's what we're looking at in the markets. We're hoping for a breakout of that resistance and about using it as a support. But right now we are within this chart pattern. I would say we have a level of support at around $23,000. We also are currently facing a level of a range of resistance, I should say. So if we take the space from around here to around here, you can see this zone of, let's get the numbers right, 23,510 to 23,750 previously been used as a level of support, but now it's being used as a level of resistance. We're trying to see if we can break through that and start to use this as a level of support again. And if we can, it will start to feel positive, and it will look more and more likely that we can start to look at retesting that $25,250 level. So that's what we're waiting for on the price of Bitcoin. Let's move on now to the cryptocurrency news and see what is going on today. Apologies that the stream is a little bit later than normal. We had a couple of issues. Obviously, I'm in a different location, and setting up at a new location just feels a little bit strange and takes a little bit of time. But let's move on to the cryptocurrency news and see what is happening. First of all, we have the headline for today's stream. CZ hits back at Forbes for writing a baseless report on Binance. So the CEO of Binance went off on Forbes today following a recent article by the media company in which the largest exchange was accused of secretly moving customers' funds in the same manner as Sam Bankman-Fried's cryptocurrency exchange. So Forbes actually reported on Monday that Binance quietly transferred $1.8 billion of collateral to back its customers' stablecoins in 2022. And Forbes said it was done between August the 17th and early December without customers' knowledge. But the article further cited blockchain data, which showed that entities like Amber Group, Alameda Research, and Justin Sun's Tron have received hundreds of millions of the shifted collateral from Binance. And Binance CEO CZ steps back and said that Forbes report saying they intentionally misconstrued facts with old blockchain transactions that our clients have done. And he said talking about Forbes, they seem to not understand the basics of how an exchange works. This is the second time that Forbes have gone after Binance, and CZ is standing up for his cryptocurrency exchange. He doesn't want this bad name, and also CZ tweets a lot about the FUD that Binance get, because Binance seems to get a huge amount of FUD every single time the markets turn to the downside, and he doesn't think the exchange is worthy of that FUD. Obviously, we hope it's not. It's very difficult in this space right now to trust centralized exchanges, but they are trying to be more transparent, trying to bring those proof of reserves around so that we can trust these centralized exchanges again. Following the FTX collapse, though, that trust was lost, and we've seen a huge amount of money being moved off centralized exchange to self-custodial wallets, because people don't want to trust a central authority. So Binance is trying to show to the community, in the cryptocurrency community, that they are a strong exchange and they will last for the long run. But this negative press coming out in the media consistently is something that CZ is trying to battle right now. Let's take a look at what is happening in the next article now. Before we do, please don't forget to like, like and subscribe and press that bell notification button. Please let me know how the sound is on today's stream, because I am just using my AirPods as a microphone. I don't know how good that is. Maybe tomorrow I'll have to try with my phone microphone, but just let me know how it goes. Just testing it out, and we'll make it as good as possible. We'll be back to the new setup next week. Let's take a look at the next article we have here. Robinhood says it received a subpoena from the SEC on its crypto listings. So Robinhood has received an investigative subpoena from the SEC regarding its crypto listings, custody of crypto assets and operations. Now, I believe it received this back in December, if we take a look at this article. So this is something the SEC has cracked down on Kraken Crypto Exchange, Paxos, Binance US, and celebrities such as NBA Hall of Fame Paul Pierce. And this is because different people are offering unregistered securities. So we are seeing here that Robinhood are now being investigated, and they have stated these and other events could negatively impact the willingness of our existing customers and potential new customers to do business with us, which could adversely affect our trading volumes and number of funded accounts, as well as our ability to recruit and retain personnel, any of which could have adverse effects on our business, financial condition, and results of operations, as well as the trading price of our Class A common stock. So that's the risk that they have identified from the SEC doing this investigation, but they have been the SEC are doing this investigation because they think Robinhood was related to its cryptocurrency listings, custody of cryptocurrencies, and platform operations. We speak all of the time on these live streams about the regulation within the cryptocurrency space. The SEC are tightening up on this, but what we need to see is regulation and clarity around that regulation, and having that regulation in a way that the industry can continue to grow. Coinbase have started to actually try and help the US regulate the industry in the correct way, and that is something really important and something we will be covering later in today's stream. This is something that I'm feeling very positive about, and it's very nice news to see. Hopefully others follow it in Coinbase's footsteps with this, but let's talk about the rest of the news, and then we'll get to that when we come to it. Let's take a look at the next one. We have True USD gathers traction in the stablecoin arena as Binance mints $130 million worth of TUSD in just 1 week. So Paxos, who issued the BUSD token, have had to halt the issuance of BUSD earlier this month because the SEC said that it was an unregistered security. And since then, there's been a lot of fear within the stablecoins, negative news about all of the stablecoins. As usual, there's always negative news about the stablecoins. People don't trust them. People don't think they're transparent enough. A huge amount of FUD around it since it began. We're now seeing issues with BUSD from Paxos, and we're now seeing people use TUSD as an alternative stablecoin. Now, this is a good thing to see. We're seeing the market share diversify across the different stablecoins, meaning that we're not heavily reliant on one central authority making sure they can look after their reserves, because we all know how that can turn out. So having this diversification within the entire market and moving market caps and spreading them across all of the different stablecoins is a good thing for the industry. And taking a look at this, Binance USD's market cap has dropped 34% in just 2 weeks. And we can see here that let's take a look. Before the news hit that US regulators were seeking to stop the issuance of the USD, the stablecoin had a market cap of around $16.16 billion. It now stands at $10.6 billion as BUSD users opt to redeem the stablecoins for US dollars or convert it to other stablecoins such as USDT and USDC. And so we can take a look here. We can see the market cap is declining for BUSD. It makes sense that this is something that would happen following this issue. Obviously, this isn't the sell-off of BUSD isn't a concern for holders. It's a stable coin. The market cap is just being reduced, but it's something we should look at. As always, we have learned from our mistakes. UST was a horrible time to be in the industry, and a lot of people had all of their assets in UST. Diversifying across different stable coins isn't a bad option either. Just in case, you never know. I know people always say diversify across altcoins, but maybe diversifying across stable coins is something that we should all be doing just to be on the safe side. As we've learned from 2022, being on the safe side for things in cryptocurrency is always the best option. A lot of people lost all of their money in just one day, and it was a very, very painful year to be a part of, and we've all learned from those mistakes. mistakes and we're trying to do things differently this time. So I'm looking at diversifying the coins I hold, the stable coins I hold, where I hold those coins, and moving things off centralized exchanges, just trying to learn from the things that went wrong in 2022 so that we don't have to learn the same lesson again. Let's take a look at the next article now, but before we do, please don't forget to like and subscribe and press that bell notification button to help us grow the channel as big as possible. James said it sounds good for iPods. I'm just a bit worried because it's echoing a lot in this room, but I hope that you can't hear the echo in the room. Let's take a look at the next article and see what is happening over here. So we have Yuga Labs as launches an NFT project on the Bitcoin blockchain. So according to a February 20th statement from Yuga, 12Fold will consist of 300 generative art pieces inscribed onto Satoshis on the Bitcoin blockchain. So the firms of the pieces would be placed on a 12x12 grid featuring 3D elements and hand-drawn features that symbolize the cartography of data on the Bitcoin protocol. According to Yuga, the pieces will be minted on the Bitcoin-based Ordinals protocol, which enables the development of Bitcoin-based NFTs. And the company added that the newly launched project has no connection to its current Ethereum-based collections. So we have seen more news about NFTs on the Bitcoin space, on the Bitcoin blockchain, because of this Ordinals project. Let's take a look at this quickly, just to show you a little bit how we can use the Crypto Saving Expert website. If you go over to cryptosavingexpert.com and you make sure to press this big blue button and press sign up, you can get access to completely free news, completely free guides, completely free cryptocurrency courses that are so in-depth and can teach you every single thing you need to know about cryptocurrency, whether you're a beginner or you've been in the space for a while. And there's going to be more courses added to that consistently. We are still building behind the scenes, adding more and more whenever we can. And obviously we have that markets tab, which is alike to CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko. But let's take a look at the guide section. And if you go to Encyclopedia over here, and we go to O, we can find ordinals on here. So let's take a look. Where is this? We could also search it at the top, but I've just gone through this. There's a small definition here if you want a quick definition. So ordinals are a system of assigning numbers to objects or events in a way that reflects their position in the sequence. In the context of NFTs, ordinals are being used to create unique and valuable digital collectibles that are tied to specific moments in time. And now we have a small video by me if you want to hear that in voice, in video format. And if you want a bigger definition, all of these words have a full article behind them as well. So make sure to check the Crypto Saving website out. If you have any words within the crypto space that you don't know what they mean and you want to learn a little bit more, we have you covered on everything you need to know about cryptocurrency. It is a lovely, lovely site. Sean said the sound is kind of echoing and it sounds like you're underwater or something. Okay, this is something that I will work on for tomorrow's stream. Thank you very much for letting me know. I'll work on this, and obviously I'll be back in my normal studio next week. So it's just a short-term issue, we should say. Let's take a look at the next article and see what is happening on the Vitalik Buterin has learned, what the lessons Vitalik Buterin has learned about users' experience in crypto payments over the years. So the Ethereum founder believes that although user experience has come a long way with numerous improvements, wallet developers still have a lot of work to do. And now we have this AI image of Vitalik Buterin, and we can see here, he's recently shared some lessons he learned about user experience while using crypto payment systems over the years. And the internet is not 100% reliable is the first thing he said. So in a blog post on Tuesday, he said that the first lesson is that the internet is not 100% reliable, especially customer internet, which is worse compared to merchant internet. The lesson stemmed from the experience the Russian-born Canadian programmer had in 2013 when he tried paying for sushi with Bitcoin in a restaurant in San Francisco. The transaction would not go through after a couple of trials, and he had to walk 50 meters to a nearby internet hotspot to execute the transaction. Buterin stated that in-person payment systems must be built with functionalities enabling customers to transfer to merchants directly. And the second lesson, Buterin argued that simple and robust user interfaces were far better than fancy and sleek ones, as the former eased users' experience. The lesson was attributed to payment issues he had when he tried paying for tea in Ethereum in 2 different locations in 2021 and 2022. And the first issue was due to a minimum deposit, while a user interface glitch caused the second. So something really important here, we are in cryptocurrency, we are in the space very, very early, and we are seeing adoption of these technologies, but we still have a long way to go. We still need to build on these technologies and learn, see the issues that we have at hand and see how we can improve upon them. And that is what we are constantly doing. And that's why we constantly see new projects within the space, trying to build upon the traditional blockchains or trying to make their own competitive blockchains that can perform even better. So let's take a look at the rest of this article. It says user UX transaction inclusion needs improvement. So the Ethereum founder has also insisted on the improvement of UX transaction inclusion. He recalled the numerous times he had experienced long delays before his transactions got accepted on chain and in blocks. And he also talked about his experience with the social recovery wallet security method. The method requires at least 3 guardians to help users recover their wallets without seed phrases or centralization. And the Ethereum developer disclosed that when he had issues with one of his wallets in 2019, he could not use the social recovery method because some of his guardians had either lost their key shards or had issues with the required applications. So he's advised users to consider social recovery methods as a last resort when there are no other options. And finally, the computer scientist asked wallet developers to look into better privacy options after telling a story about how he mistakenly linked his deposit address during a Tornado Cash transaction in 2019. And so these are some of the issues that Vitalik is seeing within the space. As I said, this is just something that we need to build upon and to continue to grow. There was another point that I was going to make from inside this article. I'm sure it will come back to me in just a second. While it does, please don't forget to like and subscribe and press that bell notification button to help us grow the channel as big as possible. We are trying to make these cryptocurrencies so that we can make peer-to-peer transactions, so we can make transactions quickly, but on the current platforms, we do have difficulties with this, and it's not actually as usable as we would hope so. There are some issues if we were to start using cryptocurrencies for simple transactions. Obviously, the first being transaction fees on Ethereum can be very high if demand is high. Obviously, now we've seen the merge from transaction fees have been brought down, and the transaction speeds may be an issue as well. But we have scaling solutions trying to solve these issues that we see on the top blockchains like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, building on these networks and growing as best as possible to help the space grow and help it be a more usable tool in day-to-day life. Let's take a look at the next articles we have here. I'm still not remembered that point I was going to say, but I'm sure it'll come back to me ready for tomorrow's live stream. So Visa and MasterCard will slow down their cryptocurrency initiatives. We have seen that Visa and MasterCard have both said they're not going to start any more cryptocurrency relationships because of the way the markets have moved to the downside and because of the lack of clarity within regulation. And now we are seeing, according to Reuters, a succession of high-profile crypto firms breakdowns, such as the collapse of Luna, Celsius, BlockFi, and FTX, have damaged confidence in the industry. This has seen US payment giants Visa and MasterCard put the brakes on efforts to develop new relationships with crypto firms. And the Reuters article said that Visa and MasterCard have delayed introducing a few cryptocurrency related products and services until the market and the regulatory environment have improved. Now, this is something that we expect to see within the next couple of years. We are going to see that, in my opinion, anyway, nothing is financial advice on this channel, as we always like to say. In my opinion, the markets are set to improve within the next year or two. I expect to see a nice big bull run that could be peak out by the end of 2025, the start of 2026. So I'm expecting a nice move to the upside for the next couple of years. Obviously, we are in cryptocurrency. We see volatility all of the time. Even during the peak of a bull market, we can see Bitcoin drop 40% before it continues on that rapid move to the upside. So we do see volatility along the way. But in the majority as a whole, I am expecting to see that move to the upside. And therefore, that issue is going to be removed from this Visa and MasterCard's mind. And the other issue of regulation and clarity within regulation is something that we are seeing more and more need for, and something that hopefully we will begin to see within the next couple of weeks. As I said, Coinbase are working on helping build clarity for regulation within cryptocurrency, and we need to see that continue. Funnily enough, this was something that Sam Bankman-Fried was working on prior to FTX filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Literally about a week before, Sam Bankman-Fried posted an article discussing how he would like to see the space get regulated. I'm not sure if that is still live and somewhere we can take a look at, but obviously that's all gone quiet now. Sam Bankman-Fried will not be working with the regulators to decide how to regulate cryptocurrency when he couldn't even look after his own centralized exchange. Let's take a look at this article anyway. So major card companies have begun to embrace cryptocurrency during the previous few years as the asset class's popularity skyrocketed. Both Visa and MasterCard refer to crypto as virtual money, produced by resolving a challenging set of cryptographic equations. Cryptocurrency is decentralized and exists on a blockchain, and the two companies stated that they were integrating blockchain and cryptocurrency networks with their dependable worldwide payment network so that cryptocurrencies could reach their full potential, with efforts to accelerate innovation to give the crypto ecosystem even more access and value. Now, obviously, we've seen this turn to the downside. Visa and MasterCard don't want to overstep any lines. They don't want to get involved with any regulation and doing anything wrong with cryptocurrency regulation. They just want to help facilitate the industry, but they don't want to get into any trouble. So they're just taking a step back for now, not onboarding any new cryptocurrency relationships and seeing how the whole thing plays out. Safe move from Visa and MasterCard. It's expected. That's absolutely fine from them for now. Hopefully they do re-enter the space and start building those new relationships up again in the coming months and years. Let's take a look at the next article we have here. But before we do, please don't forget to like and subscribe and press that bell notification button to help us grow the channel as big as possible. We are trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We're currently on 19 likes, so please make sure to hit that like button and help us with the algorithm, because sharing, liking, subscribing is exactly what we need to help spread the word about the channel. Then we'll be speaking to more people about the cryptocurrency news, and it may help with cryptocurrency adoption. And we all want to take part in helping cryptocurrency adoption so we can continue to grow. Let's take a look at this article. Now, obviously, we all know by now, everybody that joins this stream knows by now, FTX collapsed in November last year. We are seeing the repercussions of this. We're seeing now that the FTX lead engineer has been charged with fraud by the SEC and the CFTC. So let's take a look at this article. He's pleaded guilty to a 6-count I said this wrong the other day, didn't I? Indictment in a Manhattan federal court as part of a plea deal. Let's take a look at this. The SEC charges claim that Mr. Singh played a significant role in a multi-year scheme to defraud equity investors in FTX. And in addition, the regulator said that he created software that allowed the unauthorized movement of FTX customer funds to Alameda Research. He also constantly deceived investors alongside other top executives at the company. And Sam Bankman-Fried, with the knowledge of Singh, directed hundreds of millions of dollars more in FTX customer funds to Alameda, which were used for additional venture investments and loans to Sam Bankman-Fried, Singh, and other FTX executives. Taking a look at what else the SEC has said. Moreover, according to a complaint, as FTX neared collapse, Singh withdrew approximately $6 million from FTX for personal use and expenditures, including the purchase of a multi-million-dollar house and donations to charitable causes. So that is what we've been seeing inside FTX, and now all of these people have pleaded guilty. We are seeing Gary Wang's pleaded guilty, Caroline Ellison's pleaded guilty, and now Mr. Singh's pleaded guilty. Sam Bankman-Fried obviously pleaded not guilty. We are waiting for his court case towards the end of the year, but it sounds like it's been pushed back, and I'm not sure when it has been pushed back to, so it'll be interesting to see. We haven't spoken about this before on the channel with that Martini guy. He's still in belief that we won't actually get to see Sam Bankman-Fried behind bars, and he's going to get away with this somehow. Now, there is this issue that Sam Bankman-Fried has donated a huge amount of money to different politicians, and now they're trying to get, it's not an issue anymore because they're saying that the courts are trying to get those funds back. So that's going to make all of the politicians very unhappy with Sam Bankman-Fried, and may in turn help him get what he deserves. But we will have to see how this turns out in the future, if you want to stay up to date with all of these stories, don't forget to like and subscribe and press that notification button to help us grow the channel as big as possible. One positive thing about being in this different location on my laptop is that my voice should be synced perfectly for my camera for the first time ever on this stream. So that's a positive thing for today's stream, even if the sound is taking a little bit of a turn for the worse. I'll work on that before tomorrow. Let's take a look at the next article we have here today, and that is Solana outlines plan for improving network stability after a 20-hour outage. So on Saturday, Solana had yet another outage. This isn't the first we've seen for Solana, and those engineers are still working on them. I have spoken about Solana quite a lot on this channel now. So Solana was owned heavily and backed heavily by FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, Alameda Research. So the price of Solana has tanked massively since FTX collapsed because they own a huge percentage of those assets, and the liquidators could at any point take control of those assets and dump them into the market, dump the price of those assets, and therefore leave those investors with a loss in their portfolio. So many people dumped those tokens as soon as FTX announced that they were filing for Chapter X. Actually, as soon as FTX announced that they were suspending withdrawals. So that is what happened for Solana. Now, it is pretty upsetting for the developers, obviously, and the engineers. And we have seen a dump in the market. Solana, I believe, still has not recovered from when FTX collapsed. If we take a look at the charts, take a look at Solana USDT on the daily chart, you can see, let's make this automatic. This was the dump from FTX's collapse. This was up at around $35, $36 for Solana. We're now down to $22. We haven't yet recovered from that FTX collapse. We also saw a dump, obviously, from this outage on Saturday. This isn't the first we've seen for Solana. Hopefully it's the last, but you never really know. They are trying to work on this. Solana is one of my favorite projects after the FTX collapse, unfortunately. I'm not sure how the future of the project will be, but that is just my personal opinion. Obviously, nothing is financial advice. And if we do have a bull market, most of these assets do still perform well. So I'm not saying it's going to go down to zero. We never know what's going to happen. Let's take a look at this final article we have here. I haven't pulled it up. Let's get this up. We want to talk about Coinbase and their help with regulation. So Coinbase begins Crypto 435 campaign to promote pro-crypto policy in the US. Now, I'm very, very happy to see an article like this. I don't know how many people joined my stream last night on my channel, but I was very happy to read this news. Let's take a look. Coinbase have said 435 represents all the congressional districts across the United States. Crypto 435 campaign calls on digital currency and Web3 believers to lend their voices in shaping the minds and hearts of US policymakers for friendly crypto laws and policies. The public traded exchange said policymakers across the US are involved in making decisions that can impact the future of crypto. And they've said their choices will determine how, when, and where you can build, buy, sell, and use crypto. We need to make sure they get it right, and that means making your voice heard. So this is exactly what we wanted to see within the cryptocurrency industry. We want to see regulations that help the industry grow. I've said this over and over again. And now we have a big organization like Coinbase stepping forward and trying to help that happen and help people within the cryptocurrency space get their voices heard and help those regulators provide clarity for the industry, allowing us to regulate the space in the correct way. Coinbase has been actively lobbying for pro-crypto regulation over the past years. And in September 2022, Coinbase launched a feature on its app that shows and allows users to make donations to US politicians that are crypto friendly. And unclear regulations have stiffened the US crypto sector. So US regulators are yet to chart a clear path towards crypto regulation, and Binance, Ripple, and Nexo have had nurtured plans to exit the US market due to unclear regulation and scrutiny. Earlier this month, Coinbase's CEO Brian Armstrong has said he's had rumors that the US SEC wants to ban crypto staking by retail users. And he said, I believe it would be a terrible path for the US if that was allowed to happen. So we saw Kraken get their staking platform targeted by the SEC. The SEC said that Kraken was offering unregistered securities, and then they were looking at the broader staking sector of cryptocurrency within the US and whether it's all offering unregistered securities. So we need clarity within the space. We did also hear from Gary Gensler later last week or the start of this week say that every single cryptocurrency except Bitcoin was a security. Now that would be a huge, huge problem if that was actually something that was put in place and that was the decision that had been made. But we are waiting to see still how this XRP lawsuit plays out. They've been accused of being a security and they've been in this lawsuit for years now trying to say that they are not a security. I think the outcome of this will come to show very, very soon. Hopefully within this year we find out the result, and that will set a precedent for the rest of the cryptocurrency market. Before we continue, don't forget to like and subscribe and press that bell notification button to help us grow the channel as big as possible. Let's take a look at Bitcoin before we finish today's stream. We are still within this range. I'm hoping to see a move to the upside. I'm hoping we use this zone as a level of support. This is between the $23,750 level and the $23,510 level. What would be really positive for the Bitcoin price right now is if we could retest that $25,250 level. We have yet to break through that in the Bitcoin chart. And if we take a look at the daily chart, there aren't many levels of resistance above it until around 28,800 because we haven't seen much price action within that zone. So that's what we're waiting for on the longer time frames. But that is all we have for today's stream. So thank you very much for tuning in. I apologize for this change of setup and the sound. I hope it hasn't been too awful to listen and hear to, and I hope you still learned from the cryptocurrency news today. But that is all from me, and I will see you back here tomorrow at normal time. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.